Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice and The Order 1886 are the best example for cinematic experience in video games, in my opinion. From Senua, a Norse warrior battling with reality, trying to bring her loved one to life, to Galahad, a strict follow the orders guy, discovering the truths and going through betrayals to discover the reality of the people he worked for. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the similarities of these games and how they exemplify the cinematic experience in video games. Like, for example, the characters and the way they structured the story and how linear it is. Both of these games have linear structure storytelling. There's a strict path, there's one path for the characters to go through the arcs of these games, and by the end you'll get the ending of it. You are either satisfied or unsatisfied with the ending. But one of them succeeded massively and the other failed. In this case, I'm talking about Senua, Hellblade Senua Sacrifice being massively popular, and when the game came out, it was like a surprise, a shock surprise to everyone because everyone loved the game. While The Order 1886, it was accepted but not beloved by people, and both of them has very amazing or amazing visual to them, amazing graphics, way ahead of their times, especially for the Order 1886. Like, the one thing people talked about when that game came out was the graphics of that game, even in-game graphics, not just trailers or commercials, just the in-game uh, graphics were amazing. So why did the order failed while Senua's Sacrifice? If you look at it from outer perspective, it's both these games are the same. Like, they don't have heavy emphasis on gameplay. Like, there's not crazy combos to them, no anything. In case of Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, the combat was simple. Like, Senua has just a sword there, really no changing weapons, nothing on the screen, just her using the sword. There were some elements to puzzles and battles, but these battles were strategic, were well done, well coordinated. The you feel like there's a purpose to them when you progress through the character, through the story. Sorry. While in the Order 1886, there are all bunch of things. There are many things that check the gameplay mark. There are upgrades you can upgrade. There are weapons you can get, but it doesn't feel satisfying. Like, you're supposed to get from point A to point B, and they put a bunch of enemies in the middle, and you have to go through them. It just doesn't feel like satisfying when you play the game. One simple thing, like when you finish both of these games, you have a sense of satisfaction, sense of like accomplishment when you finish Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. When you're playing the Order, when you finish it, like, you say to yourself one of these things, like, why play it? Like, I'm really like unsatisfied with the ending. I felt nothing for me. I felt nothing after I finished the game. So I said, why did I play it? Why didn't I just watch it? Open the YouTube and watch someone play it. That's the difference between these games. It's not that much. It's just how well you do it. The gameplay aspect in the Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice was well done. For how little it was, the gameplay was so minimum. The combat was minimum. There are some puzzles here and there and throughout the game, but it was well done. But while in the Order 1886, that wasn't present. Like, the gameplay aspect was not, and of course the openness of the game. In the Order, you just go ahead, go ahead. There's no distraction. There are no free spaces. It's like one road, one direction, and you go through that road. You keep going, keep going, keep going through that road. This is the sense that the Order gave me while I played. The opposite on Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. It was linear game, but it didn't feel like it. And that, of course, goes back to how they did it, especially throughout the story, throughout the gameplay. So this is another like difference between them. And the other thing that I want to talk about it is the battle between do I play it or do I watch it. In this case, when I'm like talking about these games, that's why I like playing video games. That's why I like playing video games, because for the majority of video games, the sense of playing a video games is not the same as just watching it. Like I said, in video games, there's a point A and point B. You are at point A, you want to reach point B. And in the middle, there are the enemies, there are everything. It depends on what kind of video game you're playing. That sense of accomplishment throughout from A to B, getting to that point B is like night and day when you compare it to playing and watching. If you wanna just enjoy a game by just watching it, it's okay. But playing a video game, the contrast between playing and watching a video game is way different. The real experience is playing video games. Of course, it depends on the video game. Like like I said, in the Order 1886, if you watch the game or if you play it, is the same. In Hellblade, and you watch it, and watching the game is different than playing it. Definitely playing it, giving you much more emotions, much more a sense of accomplishment. Yeah, so this is another thing, like a whole debate about playing a game and watching a game. So, like I said, both of these games, and I like the cinematic aspect. I like playing games with a cinematic aspect to them, as long as they give me that, even it's minimum amount of that satisfaction of going from point A to B. The gameplay, giving me puzzles, giving me some new innovation, like help me progress. Like if you're watching a movie, you're not participating. You're just there for a ride. The movie, just experience. In a video games, you are helping. You are pushing the story forward. I get it. Yes, by your joystick, just you're pushing the narrative and the story forward. You may not have the choices of the character. Some video games give you that choice, especially in linear video game or linear storytelling. You don't have much choice, but you help. You're participating in the story. You are like the story because you're playing as the character, and especially in the Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, that was the case. And we're getting the next one, and I really hope they continue their focus on the character, not the gameplay aspect. Like we saw from the gameplay reveal from Hellblade: Senua's Saga, the sequel for this game. We don't see like they sticked. It seems like they stick to the structure of the first game. So yeah, in conclusion, there's these games look the same, feel the same. They have compelling stories, compelling characters, compelling world, but that just simple thing can make the difference. Just the gameplay aspect and how well you can make it. It's okay if you have a linear video game. You don't like go left and right and you don't have open spaces. It's okay, but while you're in that, try to give some like experience to it. Give it some light, not just great visuals and good story and good characters. At the end of the day, it's great for a cinematic experience for just watching, but not good for a video game. So why go through all the trouble of making a video game in the first place? So this is my opinion on it. I hope you enjoy it. Please consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. This would be really helpful for me. Thank you. Catch you in the next one.